Wayne from the CERN Earth and Space Center here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the summer triangle. It's a very interesting part of our skies made up of a few different shapes that all combine to make one. It is getting close to the beginning of autumn, but you can still find it in the skies very easily. And it's going to give us an opportunity to talk about some of the rather common misconceptions that we have in the sky. So before we dive into the summer triangle, let's remind ourselves on how to find it in the sky. So before we jump into what the summer triangle is and some of the misconceptions it can clear up, let's remind ourselves how to find it in the sky. It's very simple. We're set to September the 15th at 10 o'clock at night, facing towards the south, but it doesn't really matter what direction you're facing because all you need to do is look up. So we're facing south right now. If we just tilt our heads to look straight up into the sky, then we'll be able to see 1, 2, 3 bright stars that make up the summer triangle. But now let's dive in deeper and take a closer look at those stars and the shapes that they make in our skies. The summer triangle is made up of those 3 bright stars, but the interesting thing is that each one of those stars is part of a different constellation in the sky. So let's pan up and take a look at our summer triangle and those 3 bright stars. There we are. So here we have Deneb, and then at the bottom we have Altair, and then the other top star here is Vega. Each one of those is part of a different shape in the sky, but altogether they make this very recognizable summer triangle, which we can see right here. But each one of those, like I said, is part of a different constellation. So let's take a look at those individual constellations here. Deneb, let me get rid of the names. Deneb is going to be part of this group of stars right here. Now some people know this shape as the Northern Cross, because if you connect it properly, it looks like a cross, but its official name is Cygnus the Swan. Let me bring up the name here and the picture, and you can see that it does look a little bit like a swan. You have the nice broad wings, the short tail feathers, and the long neck. So that's Cygnus the Swan. And then if we go down to our star Altair, that one is going to be part of a shape called Aquila, the eagle. Now let's reorient ourselves to get a better look at Aquila the eagle here. There we go. There is Aquila the eagle. I'll bring up the artwork so you can see this one as well. We see Aquila carrying a small child that is Ganymede, the cupbearer of the gods. Now Aquila the eagle was actually kind of like Zeus's golden retriever. He would fly down from Mount Olympus and gather up all the things on earth that Zeus wanted on Mount Olympus, including Ganymede here, who became the servant to the gods. And then finally we have the star Vega, which is in the constellation of Lyra the harp. And this one really doesn't look like anything close to a harp. I'll bring up the artwork here. You'll see the picture doesn't really fit the shape, but that happens a lot. But that is Lyra the harp. And the cool thing about all 3 of these is that the brightest stars in them make up that summer triangle. And that brings me to an interesting point about the difference between what is a constellation and what is an asterism. Now, an asterism is a group of stars that forms a very well-known shape in the sky, but is not quite the same thing as an official constellation. The summer triangle is a great example of an asterism because it uses 3 different stars from 3 different constellations to make a very well-known shape in the sky. And in fact, these stick figures that we see here are also asterisms. They are not actually constellations. Now, all of the stars in these stick figures are within their constellations, but it's not quite the same thing. The actual official definition of a constellation is just an area of the sky that we can use as a map, and I can bring up the border lines of those for all 3 of these. And you can see these green lines, everything within those lines is considered to be part of that constellation. So not just the stars that make up the stick figures, but everything within those areas. And that is what makes up the difference between a constellation and an asterism. One is a internationally recognized area of the sky to help scientists when they discover things and make new observations to tell other scientists where they are in the sky. And asterisms are the ones that we use, those stick figures, to help us figure out what we're looking at and where to point our telescopes in the sky. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope now you can tell the difference between a constellation and an asterism a little bit easier. Again, my name is Wayne from the CERN Earth and Space Center. Remember to get out there and take a look at the real night sky and find that summer triangle all for yourself.